Let me introduce myself. Hello, my name is Putri Nabilla N.S. I'm a student from President University. I'm majoring in international relations. You can find me on my Instagram at @benabilanov or you can reach me on my email below. Thank you.
Guys, welcome back again with me, Putri. Now, in this third week, we're gonna talk about a state. First of all, we're gonna learn about the state of nature or the nature of the state. First of all, I'm gonna ask a question about how would it be if there is no government, there is no law, there is no state, we just like a human being live. What would it be like? What is something, what the possibility that make or that can happen basically? You can imagine, right? Without a law, without a statement, without government, we gotta live like animal, no moral boundaries that can make a chaos like that. It's very horrible place to live in, right? Without a law that control you, without the state that give you boundaries. That's really horrible, I think. Without a state, we just like only raw human nature. And then basically there are two interpretations of what might happen in the state of nature. That is from Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. The first one is about Thomas Hobbes' interpretation about the state of nature. He believes that nature is scarce, humans are selfish, lead to competition and conflict. And there are paraphrase that no art, no letter, no society, and which is worst of all, continual fear and danger, violent death, and the life of man solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and sword. The first one is scarcity. He believes that natural resources are finite. Not everyone can have them, so humans need resources to survive. He believes about these natural resources are finite. So not everyone can have them, like just some of them can have with their power. Non selfishness. Humans pursue their own individual interest survival. Scarcity means some interest make class and competition happens. So because of the natural resources are finite, we tend to be selfish. We need to claim this is mine and that is yours. You don't have any authority on my land. You do your own business. This is mine. Like we are so selfish, we are so egoistic to claim what we have or what other people have. But in the state, if we have like government or law, we have like a signing contract about this is my land and this is the contract. But in the state of nature, we can't do that. And in competition, the main driver of competition is fear. Humans are afraid that others will screw them over, so they use any means to fulfill their interests. Lack of institution means no moral boundaries. So when the scarcity is finite and we are selfish, we are egoistic, so competition would be happen. We can kill someone, we can take other right without a punishment, we do whatever we want because there is no law basically in the state of nature. And then we move to the another expert, that is John Locke. John Locke believed in nature we are all equal and free. Law of nature, preservation of humanity. And then the first one is about his beliefs about scarcity. He believes that natural resources are abundant. There is no reason to fight others for resources. But this will be depleted due to greed and money. We are greedy human beings. We will be people who consume too much of. So, in this John-like interpretation in scarcity, he believes that the natural resources are abundant. It is very different with the previous one, that is Thomas Hobbes, that believed that natural resources is infinite, but John Locke believed that natural resources are abundant. But in this case, the scarcity is up, or the scarcity comes because the greed and money from the human being that can cause the natural resources, it is not enough like that. And in the selfishness, basically John Locke doesn't believe about the selfishness, because natural law dictates humans to act morally, to not harm other people. Humans have a natural right to enforce the law of nature and administer justice. So John Locke basically believes that humans are still not to kill. That is a pure direction. We know from our heart that, or our brain, our feelings, that I can't kill someone. That's the John Locke beliefs. And in competition, the main driver of competition is dispute of justice. Who will enforce the law? Like abundance will run, eventually leading to scarcity. So this is about the competition, that is the justice. How? So basically, in John Locke's views, it is about the competition is about the justice. We can manage or not the justice, or we can distribute it well. The justice, that's the competition. So the summary between those two interpretation that are, the state of nature will be a horrible place to be in. We need to escape from a state of nature, because those two interpretation, we already know that if we don't have like government law and etc., we will be like animal, and the place will be like a horrible place to be in. We can kill someone, whatever we do, whatever we want without boundaries. It's really horrible, I think. Yeah, we moved out. So, because we know about the state of nature, the interpretation, so I want to ask about what is the really state is. What is state? According to the Max Weber, the German sociologist, Max Weber defines the state as a human community that successfully claims the monopoly of the legitimate use of physical force within a given territory. So this is like human community that allow force or cycle force within a given territory. State is a political association that exercises sovereignty over a specified territory. So state has a dawlah to a specified territory, like territory, people, and apparatus. That is basically a state. So maybe you're wondering, what is the functional of the state? There are three functions of the state. That is, one is protection, the main function. Attacks from other state, maybe for example. And then two is provide justice, equality, example like distribution of resources. And the last is settle disputes. That is the function of the state. So move to the consent. What is related about our consent to the state? Basically, we already give our consent since we born to the state. Like I give the state some of my freedoms, then the state then guarantee my safety. So we give our consent to get best guarantee to my safety. Like I can't safety myself. We need like guard, like police. So the government control the police to control the or to keep the citizens safety, right? And then social contract theories. The state has absolute control over the public domains such as defense, finance, and economic, and the people are free to enjoy their freedom in the private domain, such as freedom of speech, freedom of faith, and etc. And then trusted consent and voluntary consent. The first thing is voluntary consent. Without consent, the social contract loses power and the state cannot be justified. And cycle proof of consent, for example, like voting, citizenship, pledge of allegiance, that's it. So voluntary consent is basically our consent that that become a proof to government. The government or state can be justified. And then trusted consent. Trusted consent is about by living and enjoying the benefits of the state. You trustedly consent to the social contract. If you don't like it, you can leave basically in the trusted consent. And then utilitarian theory from Jeremy Bentham. Subjects should obey kings so long as the probable mischiefs of obedience are less than the probable mischiefs resistant. A fragment on government. Utilitarian theory seems to make more sense because there is no consent to prove. But what if the state tries to increase habits in moral and unacceptable ways? There will be another question, right? Basically, once again, utilitarian theory it's about subjects should obey kings so long as the probable mischiefs of obedience are less than the probable mischief resistance. So basically, they obeyed kings. Summary summary, there are two theories that try to explain where you have political obligations like social contract and utilitarian theory because and the second summary is because you consent you have political obligation to the state. I'm obligated to follow the state because it brings more happiness than the other option. So we move to the idea, really extreme idea, I think, to the state that is anarchism. That, yeah, you know it. This is what anarchism believes against the state. It is impossible to prove that everyone has political obligation. The state forced me to obey. It is illegitimate because it violates my freedom as a human. I haven't consented and I won't consent to the state. They also believe that humans are inherently good. Anarchists believe humans are cooperative and not need the state. We can govern ourselves. Even if there are laws, you should not obey them unless they are aligned with your own moral judgment. So, anarchism think in the way of they thinking. We don't need the state. The state can prove our our political obligation, so we don't have to, or we are not obligated to give our consent to the state. However, we have like our moral boundary itself that we are cooperative and non and really cooperative, so we don't need the state. And the last is anarchism is attractive but unsustainable. And small does anarchism work. Small self-sustained communities are example. However, in the long term, this does not allow for further development. So I think that's all for week 3. Thank you very much for watching. I'm so sorry if I say the wrong statement. Please confirm me via email or via Instagram in the previous introduce. That's my contact. Thank you very much and bye bye.